Morning, beautiful people. Hoping this message finds you well and safe. Oh, I gotta tell you, the National Mall is super emotional for me, but not for reasons you might automatically assume. So, of all the monuments here and the respect we pay to history, you know what building messes with me? It's the Internal Revenue Service building. Let me explain. I wish, just like the national anthem, we would stop cherry picking the whole song, right? The whole song. We only sing the first verse, and then when somebody finally gets introduced to the second part, we're supposed to ignore that, right? Some of us are supposed to ignore that, and we can't. That's no different than like being here at the MLK, Brother Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Memorial. I appreciate that everybody's all on the I Have a Dream speech, but I wish they would stop, we would stop cherry picking the whole speech. And for a minute, can we talk about the part where my brother, our brother, your brother said, we have descended upon Washington to talk about this check that the country wrote us that was returned with insufficient funds. There's this thing, I'm going to tie this to the IRS and then go on about my business. There's this thing that some of us know about and some of us don't, and I'd like to introduce you to it. For meditation, diversity, reflection, however you want to use it. Some of us understand the concept of the black tax. The black tax. So here's how it works in its simplest terms. Some of us are told, work really, really hard to get yourself out of the condition or the situation you are born into. But as you work hard and reflect on, not reflect on, but as you work hard and achieve more and more and more and more, there's a tax you have to pay. There's, everything on your paycheck, but then there's that tax from your community. So if I got promoted, then we got promoted. We meaning family, closest friends, neighbors, right? If I got promoted, we got promoted. If I got a raise, we got a raise. For those that want to take this to the next level, there was a certain point in time when the master was sick, we was sick. What's wrong, boss? We sick? Right? That's how that worked. So there's this black tax. Like, if I make $100 and the government takes 50, I got 50 left. And with that 50, not only do I got to figure out how to take care of myself, I got to take care of the people around me too. It's called the black tax. Fast forward, as I have found myself in a position of privilege, I see firsthand that we are navigating a system designed for the underserved to be responsible for taking care of the underserved. The underprivileged are responsible for taking care of the underprivileged. So while I understand the concept and how it was introduced as a black tax, it's an underprivileged tax. So the marginalized are responsible for taking care of the marginalized. The poor are responsible for taking care of the poor. And in my work with those that serve vulnerable disabilities, the frontline staff are the vulnerable who are taking care of the vulnerable. Which gets me back to my brother. I shouldn't point. Which gets me back to my brother. He was talking about this check that was written for us that came back insufficient funds. But just like the bank, somebody got to cover that. And that happens to be us. So as I'm walking the mall this morning, thinking about all the history and being super emotional about it for my own reasons, I can't even focus on what I choose to focus on because of that IRS building. Not that the IRS is bad. I am pro-tax. But I'm also thinking about the black tax. So however, whenever the next time is you have a conversation about this concept of belonging or inclusion or equity, however you want to look at it, will you please evolve the conversation? And what do we do about the situation we find ourselves in where we are designed for the vulnerable to be responsible for the vulnerable? But we're mad that the rich spend all their time being responsible for taking care of the rich. It's not good or bad. It's not right or wrong. You are perfectly designed for the results you get. And this is the design that we work under. So with that, I hope this message finds you well and safe and healthy and patient and diligent. I hope it finds you thinking about how can you help contribute to evolving a system where the poor are leaning on being taken care of by the poor. That system cannot last like that forever. And of course, I hope this finds you thinking. Stay safe, everybody, and I look forward to seeing you next time.